What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. This is Sarb Solda, your pre-sale expert and Fraser Valley realtor, back again. And today we're going to talk about what type of floor plans to buy and what type of floor plans to avoid if you're looking at a pre-sale condo. Now, regardless if you're buying for investment or something to live in when the project is done in 2, 3, 4 years, you have to consider the floor plan that you're buying. It's crucial to you actually seeing a positive return on your investment in the future. So let's get down to business. What type of floor plan should you buy? First and foremost, if you're buying for investment, I would recommend you just gravitate towards a low-rise, max 6-story wood frame building instead of a concrete high-rise. You're getting bigger units in those buildings, you're paying less cost per square foot, and you're typically paying less strata as well because there's not as many amenities. And of course, to maintain a wood frame construction building, it's a little bit cheaper. And if you're buying to live in, of course, choose between the concrete or the wood frame low rise. Most often than not, people like to go for the high rise because they want that unique style of living. They want the noise reduction, they want the view, they want the fresher air, and they want the lifestyle, But when it comes down to it, when you're buying floor plans, here's exactly what you should look for and what you should gravitate towards. Typically, I tell my clients, investment or to move into at the end of the day, look at the 1-bed, 1-bath plans and the 2-bed, 2-bath plans. You don't need to be looking at studios. You shouldn't be really looking at the 1-bed and dens unless they offer tremendous value. And you don't need to look at anything bigger than a 2-bed, 2-bath unit. If you need a 3-bed condo, I would recommend just focus on going towards a townhome. Or if you need a 2-bed and den condo, again, I just recommend getting a 2-bed and den townhome. They're roughly around the same price as a 3-bed condo. And the reason I really emphasize just sticking to a 1-bed, 1-bath or a 2-bed, 2-bath is because you're typically not paying a huge premium for these units. Usually the jump from a 1-bed, 1-bath to a 1-bed and den is anywhere from $25,000 to maybe $40,000 in price. And of course, from a 2-bed to a 2-bed and den or a 2-bed to a 3-bed can be anywhere from $40,000 to $80,000 for not much more space. Oftentimes, let's say as an example, the 1-bed and den, the den is very small and you can't fit much in there. It's more just an extra storage space, but you're paying a huge premium for that extra square footage that basically just goes to waste. So just stick to the 1-bed and 1-bath, stick to the 2-bed, 2-bath, and you'll see a positive return. Now, moving on to the next point, what type of actual shape and dimensions should you have for your 1-bed, 1-bath, 2-bed, 2-bath plans that you pick? So typically I always tell my clients, and I'm more investor focused, I focus on working with investors. For people who are going to move in at the end of the day, they have their own preference. Sometimes they like to go for the obscure or asymmetrical floor plans because they just want that weird, quirky space. And oftentimes, those units do come with more square footage. But more often than not, what you want to be doing is just focusing on the symmetrical floor plans that are like a box or rectangle shape that usually have the separation between the living area, the kitchen, and the 2 bedrooms for the 2-bed, 2-bath, and of course the separation between the living room, kitchen, and the bedroom for the 1-bed, 1-bath. A lot of the times you'll find these triangular or trapezoid-esque looking floor plans, and yes, they are bigger. Sometimes they're 20 to 30 square feet bigger, but most often than not, those are something called elbow units, which are on the inside corner of the building. You get the least amount of privacy because people typically be able to see within your unit because it's an elbow unit. On top of that, you get the smallest balcony. And the last and most important reason is you're gonna have a tough time offloading that property in the future because more people don't like to go towards that unit. It's very niche, the type of individuals that go for that unit. So just because you may get more space and it's an obscure shape and you like it, you have to think about resale. And more people, more often than not, gravitate towards these symmetrical floor plans. So that's what you want to look for, symmetrical floor plans that are box and rectangle shaped that have the separation from each of the living spaces, and you should be good. And of course, not every symmetrical floor plan is made equal. I tend to tell my clients to get the floor plans that usually have the L-shaped kitchen instead of the straight kitchen going through it, and also look to avoid units with the Jack and Jill washroom situation. See if you can get some separation between the bathroom and the primary bedroom. I mean, some people like to have to go through their closet to get to the bathroom, and they like that for the convenience and whatnot. But I find the return you get on the unit that has the separation from each of the areas in the unit, a little bit easier to offload, a little bit easier to sell, and you're able to sell it for a little bit more. People tend to gravitate towards that. So that's what you should focus on. And when it comes to the 2-bed, 2-bath units, something that's usually added into some of these floor plans, which make it seem like it's a huge bonus, is giving you double patios, sometimes from the primary bedroom and the living room, or the primary bedroom and the guest bedroom, something like that. I'm starting to see this pop up in quite a few projects. It's just extra space that you're probably not going to end up using, and it's not a huge selling factor for a lot of people because, believe it or not a lot of people actively use their patios. They may use it when it's sunny to sunbathe, read, maybe do some grilling on the outside if you can have like electric burner or something like that going on in your strata. But more often than not, I've spoken to so many buyers and renters who live in condos, and they come to the realization that we don't even use our patio all that much. We don't care if there's a second patio added to our unit, where that space, if they didn't have that second patio, they could have made the primary bedroom a little bit bigger, or that space could have been better used elsewhere, right? They could have just added square footage to the unit. So more often than not, if you're seeing these 2-bed, 2-bath plans with a bigger patio, or sorry, not a bigger patio, double patio, you may want to gravitate towards not getting that unit, because more often than not, you will be paying a premium to have a unit that has a double balcony or double patio. So try and stay away from those. At the end of the day, you want to get the units that'll sell quick, sell easy, and sell for top dollar. Asymmetrical, clean, no wasted space floor plans, and you don't need all this extra fluff. Because remember, for anything extra that's included in the unit, whether it be an extra patio or balcony space or anything like that, you're going to be paying a premium, and most often than not, you're not going to see a return on that. Another point I really want to make is when it comes to the 1-bed and 2-bed plans and pre-sales and condos, whatever, make sure it's an actual 1-bed, 1-bath plan and an actual 2-bed, 2-bath plan. What you're seeing in a lot of pre-sales right now, and especially new ones coming out, is developers advertising this new type of floor plan called a junior or urban 1-bed and a junior 2-bed. You need to stay away from these units. I cannot stress this enough. The urban or junior 1-bed is basically just a studio. That's all it is. You may be getting 10 more square feet in the unit, maybe 12, and you're getting maybe a partition wall, which turns the studio where the bed would come down into just a pseudo bedroom with a partition wall. It's still a studio, and you're not going to get parking or sometimes even storage with it, but you're going to end up paying like $30,000 more for this unit than you would if you just bought a studio. And same goes for a junior 2-bed. Junior 2-beds are basically just larger 1-bed indents. They're still 2-bed, 1-bath units, but in this second bedroom, I put in quotes because it's basically just a den, what they're going to do is they might add a very small window. More often than not, they don't. And on top of that, what they'll have to add is like a closet. That's how they get away with it. By adding a closet, they can technically call it a room. Now, you can maybe fit like a single, maybe a twin bed in there, but it's going to be compact. It's basically still a 1-bed and den, and you're paying, again, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 more for this unit than you would a 1-bed and den. You're better off just getting a 1-bed and den. So if you're looking at junior 2-bedrooms, just pay a little bit more to get the true 2-bed, 2-bath unit where you're going to have at least 100 to 150 more square feet, or go down to a 1-bed and den or a 1-bed, 1-bath. See if you can make that work. Do not waste your money paying a premium on a urban 1-bed, junior 1-bed, or a junior 2-bed. I cannot stress this enough. I hate these units, but I gotta give it to developers for coming up with creative ways to basically just sell you studios and 1-bed and dens. Remember, here's something that most realtors won't tell you. Everybody likes to talk about location. And of course, location is important. Location, location, location. When you think of real estate and buying real estate, you have to buy in the right location. When it comes to purchasing a presale or condo, location is good, but you need to emphasize and focus on the type of floor plan you're buying. Sure, if you get into a project that's in a terrific location, everybody is talking about it, there's a lot of hype around it, that area is terrific, there's a lot going on, very dense, whatever. but you buy a terrible floor plan, that's still going to come to bite you in the back in the future when you look to offload. Whereas if you just buy a terrific floor plan in a pre-sale condo development or a condo that's already built in a good area, maybe not an amazing location, but still a good location, you're going to see far greater returns on that. And you'll be able to offload it a lot quicker if you need to. So that does it for this week's video, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it and most importantly, got some value from this video. If you enjoyed it and got some value, please leave a comment, like, subscribe. It really helps me out and helps my channel. I want to be there for you guys and provide as much value as I can. And of course, if you guys ever have any questions, there's multiple ways you can reach out to me via email, via phone, via text. You can leave a comment. I check them and I'll do my best to reply. That does it for this week's video. I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a good one.